Hey guys, welcome to Reaper's Review. So this weekend I went out, actually Saturday, I went to go see Big Hero 6. So for most of you guys who don't know, it's another Disney and Pixar movie. It is another CGI movie, and it is based in San Francisco, but it's not San Francisco anymore. It's called San Francisco and Tokyo put together. And pretty much they have some of the same buildings that you see here, and the bridges there, with a little bit of, little changes to it. And it was actually pretty cool. I liked how the designs were and everything like that. The CGI was phenomenal. They did a nice sweeping camera sweep of San Francisco, Tokyo. The hills, the landmarks, the trees, even the water. I mean, it looked really amazing. It looked phenomenal. If we didn't know we were watching an animated movie, if they basically did different kind of lighting, it would have looked pretty realistic. It was really amazing done. All I can say for the CGI on this movie was they stepped it up again. And of course, with each one of their movies, the CGI has gotten better and better and more phenomenal, more amazing, and more crazy. With this one, they have little. I think my favorite part of the CGI was these little robots that they had was about that big. They had about literally a million or so, millions. They had millions of those things on scene, and to have them moving around and doing what they're doing, honestly, I'm like, holy crap! The time it would take to get one design, and they have to duplicate it, but then after getting them duplicated, and then have them each one have their own individual movements and moving around, they must have worked their asses off on that scene, because that scene alone, I mean, I was blown away. I was blown away by just that alone. And as you guys know, I'm learning how to do CGI. So I was blown away on what they did, and I know how hard to do some simple things is to get to look a certain way and stuff like that. But that right there blew my mind as far as the animation wise, and getting them all to do what they got to do, and the different movements, and it was phenomenal. As far as the storyline goes, Disney does it again. They give you a great opening sequence, and then they hit you with something really sad. And Disney's really, they're really, pretty much in every single Disney movie, you're guaranteed a sad moment in the movie. They always hit you with something sad, and this one's no different. The main character, has an older brother, and his older brother's trying to help him become, somebody better. Basically, he's a 14-year-old boy, a genius, already graduated high school, and he's going into bot fighting. Kind of like they had those bot fights on TV where you build your own robots and you fight it out in the little thing. It's kind of like that, but now it's more underground. And it's not like in Real Steel where it's big old robots fighting it out and like that. It's little robots about this big maybe, and you're using a remote control and you're controlling the robots and you're fighting. So he does that for a living, and and his brother comes and picks him up, and basically he's getting in trouble, and he tells him, that he's gonna go on another fight, and so his brother tries to persuade him to not do that anymore by taking him to his school. And his school is basically a nerd school. You have different nerds, building different technologies. You go into this big room, and all he sees is people like him, playing around with stuff, making new cool stuff. You have one where she's riding this bike the wheel is pretty much like a disc, and it's hooked up by electromagnetic kind of field where it's connected to it, but there's no metal to it in between it. It's just hovering there, kind of like in Star Trek, how the wheels were floating around. There's nothing connected to it. So they have that, and then another guy who's working with lasers, where he could throw an apple through the lasers and it cuts them into whatever sizes you want. You have one where she's working on a chemical that eats right through the metal and just gone. And it's basically little paint. And then you have another character who is working on. Actually, those are the only three scientists. Then you have another guy who's a school mascot, who's not a nerd at all, but he's a nerd enthusiast. He loves all the science stuff, and he hangs out with them. And so you have all these guys working together, and the brother was working on a robot, and it's a medical robot. And for the robot, it's pretty cool. It's the white big old fluffy robot that we see in the trailer, and it's a medical bot. It's Baymax. So whenever you stub your toe or you hurt yourself or you burn your finger and you say ow, he comes out of his little box and comes out and he responds to your pain, and he assesses it and see what needs to get done, and then that is it. he doesn't go back in the box unless you say you're satisfied with your care. Then he goes back into the box, kind of like almost like a genie, almost, where your other lamp comes out and he helps you out. But instead of getting 3 wishes, you get him to help you out with every little medical dilemma that you got. And the only way you put him back in the box is saying, "I'm satisfied with my care." So with this movie, his little brother finally says, "You know what? I want to do it. I want to go to the school." He develops the tiny little robots, the micro robots. Now, this is where the plot goes, where he has to submit this in so he can get into school. If it's good enough, he could get into the school. So he does that. He gets in. He gets basically an invite to go to the school because his invention is one of the greatest inventions they've seen in that school during the presentations. Then you have tragedy strike. Then then he has to deal with it. Basically, this whole movie is just an amazing movie, and he grows and he goes out and he becomes a hero with the school kids. Now, I can't remember the character's name, all the characters' name. There's one character, his name is Wasabi. Then you have something Go-Go, and then you have Honey Lemon, and then you have Fred, who's the mascot guy. And Fred's the one that gave each one of these guys a nickname. And the Honey Go-Go is the one that she's basically she's like hers is the one where she plays around with the chemicals and makes like this little spray that destroyed all the metal. And then you have Wasabi, who is voiced by Damian Wayans Jr. And then you have, God, I can't remember her name. The whole name is something Go-Go, and that's voiced by Jamie Chung. And most of you know her. If you guys watch TV, she's Mulan in Once Upon a Time. If you saw Premium Rush, she was the foreign Asian girl trying to get her kid back into the United States. She was also Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball, and she has another movie coming out. She was in East of Eden, or East of Eden. I can't remember the name of the movie. And then she has another movie coming out next year. I think it's a horror movie because I have not seen anything. I've seen a promotion for it. I have not seen the release date. I think it got pushed back. She was also in Sorority Row. So she's definitely gotten some movies out there. So this is like her first animation film. And then you have Freddy's father, who I thought was pretty amazing. When I saw the picture, I was like, that kind of looks like Stan Lee. After the end credits, yes, after the end credits, they have another scene. And Freddy's father appears. It is actually Stan Lee. It's voiced by Stan Lee. The character looks like Stan Lee, and it is voiced by Stan Lee. I think that was one of the most greatest moments I've seen in the movie, where they actually got Stan Lee to come in and do this voice acting. And when I saw it, I was like, you know what, that was pretty cool thing to do, because the character's actually he loves comics, and he wants to be a superhero like like in the comic books. So basically, they developed these suits to become superheroes to fight the guy who stole the little kids' technology, and this whole storyline was pretty straightforward. Now, I was sat there at night when I watched the movie. I watched the movie with a bunch of kids in the movie. It's pretty hilarious. There's a lot of kids are laughing and going, and you hear a bunch of them go, "Oh!" They had 2 sad moments in the movie, so to watch the movie with the kids and to see their reaction to those sad scenes, it's kind of funny, because all of them at once were like, "Oh no, why? Is he gonna be okay?" And I was sounding like that's messed up, And then to hear the kids' reaction was kind of like, well, kids react to, we all react to it differently, but kids, the way they all react to it was it's pretty hilarious, because they're emotionally invested into it, and it's very hard for most people our age to get emotionally invested into the movie like the kids do. I got emotionally invested into just as much as they did, but I'm not talking to the screen where it's like, oh man. But just to hear them voice out their opinions was pretty hilarious. They loved a lot of the stuff. I think most of their favorite scenes were the robots when they're flying around and Baymax doing little things that are pretty hilarious. I'm laughing alongside with them, so just little things we're laughing about, how the robot, how he functions and how he walks and tries to do things, stuff like that, was pretty hilarious. So it's definitely worth checking out. Now, for most people, I saw it in 3D, and most of the kids I saw it there were pretty young. I definitely suggest you guys, go to talk to an eye doctor and get, see what the right age would be for your child to see a movie in 3D. Because there is an age where you want, where they shouldn't be watching movies in 3D because it can mess up their eye development. So please definitely check out the age restrictions and would be appropriate, age for them to watch a movie in 3D. Because, as much as I recommend taking these kids to see a movie in 3D, I would rather have them go, go and not ruin their eyes because it could hurt their eye development. So please, when you take your kids to see a movie in 3D, definitely make sure that they're at the appropriate age to watch in 3D for their eyes. It's not because it's gonna, it might be scary. No, it's for their eye development, and you don't want them to mess up their eye development. So right now, that is it for my movie review. I have more movie reviews coming up, more gaming footage, and more movie talks. Leave a comment below what you liked, what you didn't like. If you saw this movie, tell me what you thought of the movie. Hit that like button, hit that dislike button. I would like to know what things you liked and didn't like about the video. And I'll be seeing you guys around for more movie reviews. I have The Hunger Games 2, which we'll be seeing, and I will be seeing this in IMAX. And there are, Night at the Museum 3 I'm going to go check out. Definitely going to go see Fury and Interstellar. They already came out, and I got to see those now. I have to probably see them this week or this weekend. Yeah, so definitely subscribe to the channel if you have not. So I'll be seeing you guys around. I'm Grim Reaper. Alright guys, bye.